You're doing fine. Have confidence.
Okay.
مش الحال صح؟
بعدين here. Can someone go to the live and tell
I
me?
am on YouTube بعد ما بين شيء. Okay, you're live.
مبين قدامكم هلا on YouTube.
بين قدامنا the live studio page.
Okay. Can you hear? Can someone tell me if they hear me clearly?
بين قدامنا the live studio page. We can hear clearly.
Okay. If I go to Zoom, if I stop sharing my screen شو حيصير؟
ما بفتكر حيبين شيء. بس خلينا هيك خلص بعد في 5 minutes.
بس لا my question is هلا بس يفوتوا الكانديديتس شو حيقشعوا؟
اعملي ستوب شير لنشوف اذا بنبين نحن.
What do you see?
Wait.
What do you see, guys?
رامي حافظ Outlook. I can see the Zoom page.
Okay, if I do this, you guys see everything? My gallery room?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see. I'm gonna make you guys post.
Guys, I see what on YouTube بشوف ال active speaker مش the whole grid. You want that?
ولا بدكم the whole grid ما بعرف شو رأيكم؟
Whole grid. Guys, let me make people. Can someone please walk me through كيف بدي أعمل عالم host? Bear with me again.
Could you repeat?
1 second. Muhammad, please. 1 second. بدي أعمل Hassan host. Make.
Yes, please.
Okay, should I make you co-host, Hassan?
Co-host. Yes. That's better.
Muhammad, I'm gonna make you co-host as well. Start. Okay. Muhammad, I leave you to host today, as in speak out. You know the guests. I'll just handle the. I'll just give a small word in between, and that's it. Do you want to just? I'll just say hi, some intros, and then you can introduce all our guests.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Can you? Okay, I'm gonna make some of you co-hosts so you can start. Hadi, I'm also co-host. Hadi, please handle the campaigners. Okay, so should we start admitting? Is anyone on the live, by the way?
Yeah, some people are.
Yes, I'm on the live as well. We're like, they can see us and they can hear us.
Awesome. So guys, we can start admitting people in.
Do I admit all?
Sure.
Okay, we'll give it another 5 minutes because not everyone has joined.
I think it's best if I mute myself, by the way, to avoid the... Hello, guys.
Hello. Hey guys, how are we all doing?
Hey, how are you, Muhammad?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Excited for the debate. Thank you so much, Outlook, for this opportunity.
Thank you for taking the time to attend. We'll be waiting for another 10 minutes for everyone else to join in, and then we will begin in earnest.
Should I start recording? I mean, this is only recorded for, you know, maybe archival purposes, report purposes. Hopefully nothing serious happens that someone.
Amazing. Okay, like us too.
Okay, guys, just please a disclaimer. Make sure you have good connectivity. I don't want anyone to cut off while they're giving in an answer. It's really not fair to you. Just, if you can salvage some 3G, they're a commodity for us these days.
You would ask the all debaters to open their camera. Okay, President Khouri has joined the meeting.
Dr. Khouri, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to attend this event. We're honored to host you.
Good evening. I'm going to hide my face and try to catch as much as I can of the debate. Okay? Just
Okay.
because I have, unfortunately, a few other phone calls to the hospital to make at the same time, but I'll pay attention and be quiet. Good luck to all the candidates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Done? Long time no see. Good to see you guys, if remotely, hopefully soon in person.
Hopefully that will be the case.
Dr. Talal Nizamuddin has joined our meeting now.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, Dr. Sana.
How are you, Hamad? Good to see you again.
It's been a while.
And I'm very excited about the debate.
As we are. We hope you enjoy it.
Inshallah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Khoury.
Good evening, Sana.
How are
Ahmed,
you?
I'm going to try to join from my computer and leave this phone because it's almost dying. So, but unfortunately, the computer's taking a while to boot up.
اشتقنا.
Okay, no worries, President Khoury. We'll wait until 7:10 to begin.
Oh, please start. You'll see me join that on, but this is the evening's highlight. We're looking forward to your opinions.
To anyone attending from Outlook, could you please indicate in your names that you are with Outlook, please? Thank you.
ما حدا عم يحكي؟
Guys, just to clarify on the point I made previously, if you are a member of Outlook, could you please indicate that you are with Outlook? Representatives and special guests do not need to do so. Also, if you are participating in this debate, then please indicate your name and campaign. Thank you very much. And yes, we will be starting soon. We are waiting for Dr. Khoury to rejoin from his laptop.
Muhammad, there's no need. Don't worry. You'll barely notice me. You can start. I don't want to delay you guys.
Okay, then we shall begin. First of all, thank you everyone for taking the time to attend this event. We have a lot of things in store and we hope that you will enjoy it. I will be handing over the floor to Kalim Pashtimajian, our editor-in-chief, who will give a few words before I introduce the rules of this debate. Thank you and have a wonderful evening, guys.
Hello, guys. This is Kalin. I'm incognito, as you may see. I'm handling the live stream of this account. Whoever did this was not really, it wasn't that best a decision, but I think I'm managing the live stream well. Welcome to this year's Outlook debate. Every year this has been a tradition where we bring in the USFC campaigners, and we're usually on the steps of the West Hall, and it's always a great dynamic. Unfortunately, with the devastations of the year and with the circumstances, we're each in the confines of our home, but I think this shouldn't stop us from staunchly campaigning and staunchly proving to voters why they should vote for you. We have all the campaigns here. Thank you for joining us. I've reached out to you personally, and thank you for putting your trust in me that this event is going to be something that serves you, but most importantly, serves the voters and the students. There has been many instances of campaigns, which I will name later on, who have declined from joining us. And to students, I say hold them accountable. They deserve to be up here. They deserve to be answering your questions. Let's reclaim our democracy on campus. Let's reclaim your vote. And good luck to everyone. Hamad, I'll let you take it from here. And a special welcome to all the guests. Dr. Nizamuddin, Dr. Sano, President Khouri. It's really good having you guys here. I trust that my team will be able to take it over.
Thank you, Colleen. So without further ado, I will be introducing the rules now. The rules are very straightforward, and we expect everyone in this debate to embody civility.
Of one
Personal-
and recite one.
Sorry? Could, guys, please, if you are not talking, could you please mute? Okay, so back to the rules. All representatives, of course, are expected to embody civility. Personal attacks, profane language, or blatant disrespect will not be tolerated under any circumstances. Consistent failure to adhere to these rules will result in termination from the elections debate. And to add, all representatives and special guests are expected to converse in English. Conversing in Arabic is discouraged as not everyone may be able to understand it. So without further ado, I will be handing over the floor to our moderator, Hassan, who will be introducing all the representatives. Hassan, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. So this is Hassan Husseini. I will be the moderator today of this event. I'm so excited to be invited by EB Outlook to be the moderator of this event. I'm a CCA student. I'm also a debate trainer, educator. I work as the vice president of EB Theory Club and Isaac in Lebanon. So today we'll have a lot of interesting questions. Some of them will not be that easy. But I encourage you all guys to answer these questions and try to do your best in order to encourage all the EB community to vote for you. This is your opportunity basically to show that you are our future representatives at AUB. Okay, so we have today several campaigns. I have here 6 campaigns. I would like to welcome them all to this event, this interesting event. We have Change Starts Here. We have from Change Starts Here, the first campaign, we have Munzer, we have Siba and Nadim. I would like to welcome you all to this event. And from Campus Choice Secular Club, we have Gael, Karim, and Steven. And guys, of course, we have also the third campaign, which is Angels of Reform, Nadir, Ahmad, and Firas. And also we have the fourth campaign, which is Vote for One, FAFS. We have Abdul Halim. To Be Free, we have Rayan, Mahdi, and Abdul Karim. And we have from label your USB or your OSB, which is the fifth campaign or the sixth campaign, we have Nuhad Zaidan. Okay, so now I will just give a chance for you guys, for 3 minutes. I just stated the names because I can't give chance to everyone to present themselves. I will give chance for each campaign to be represented by one of you. So I will start with the Change Starts Here. If you have one representative to introduce the representative of Change Starts Here.
Okay, so hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Munzer.
Okay, so Change Starts Here is a new independent student campaign formed at AUB. This campaign started to be formed last year during the protests after the revolution started, and it kept on growing since then. We've decided to make a change inside of AUB after we've been on the streets and we saw that change needed to start somewhere basically. So we decided that change starts here, change starts within oneself, within one's own community, and our own community is AUB. That's why we need to start this progressive change inside of AUB. And this is why we decided to get to where we are today, fighting for the elections, because through student representation, you can make the change. Through student representation, you can discuss with the administration whatever you want. Through student representation, basically you just represent students, their needs, any issues. So basically this change starts here, and I'll introduce Siba Mroui and Nadim Saadi, my colleagues here, are also runners for the SFC positions.
It's nice to have you here, Munzer, and welcome for Change Starts here. So we'll go to the secular club, to campus choice. So I need one representative to present like the team for like just 30 seconds, because like we don't have time a lot for this part. Secular club.
So hey guys, my name's Stephen Bory, and sitting next to me is Kareem Saad, and we'll keep it, short and sweet. We're representing the secular club, and we're the longest running and largest independent movement in AUB. We started running for elections in 2008, and in 2012 it was under the name Campus Choice. And since then, it's been a great movement of independence and progressiveness, and we're really glad to be here today. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kareem. We're glad also to have you here today. Agents of Reform.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Nader, you can.
Yeah, so Agents of Reform is a list that is based solely in FAS. We're individuals that we believe in each other, and we believe that we want to change, but we don't want to run with any club, because we feel that the main issue is running with clubs and voting for clubs, not for individuals. So even though some clubs reached for some of our members, some of our candidates, we declined their offers, and we're willing to run on our own and be the change on our own as individuals, not as a club. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nader. Vote for one FAFS, Abdul Halim, if you are with us. Okay, so we'll go, I guess Abdul Halim is not here maybe. We go to Be Free campaign. I need one representative. To Be Free campaign, Rayan Mahdi Abdul Karim. Okay, so we'll move to the last campaign, Label Your USB. Nuhad, are you here? I guess you are here.
Yes, I'm here. Hi. So basically, Label Your SB is similar to Agents of Reform. It's for individuals, candidates that want to go down independently without a club. Because like Nader said, the main issue in Lebanon was that people would vote for clubs, I believe, instead of the individual's potential. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Nuhat. Okay, guys, before we start the part about the general questions, I would just like to tell you today that we will have 3 parts of this debate. The first part will be for the questions, which is split into 2 parts, general questions and specific questions. This part will be basically for like 50 minutes or to 1 hour. And also we'll have the second part, which is basically super interesting, which is the debate part between the representatives. So the representatives will be asked actually to ask some questions, and then we'll have a certain debate. And the third part will be questions from our special guests, and of course here Dr. Fadlu and other guests here. And also we'll have also questions from social media accounts, because we, of course, we are like live streaming on our social media platforms. Okay, before I start, I want everyone, as Muhammad said, just to rename yourself for the candidates, your first name and the name of the campaign. Okay, it will be easier in the moderation process. Okay, so guys, are you ready to start? General questions. Okay, guys, so also one rule before I start. I want you, of course, not to unmute yourself directly. What you will do is basically to just raise your hand and I will choose who will answer these questions. These questions are not specific questions for a certain campaign. They are general questions. So through raising hand, I need like one representative from each campaign. If you guys want to participate, to share your thoughts. Okay, so these questions are for you all, but please by raising hand that I can choose accordingly. Okay, thank you for thanks for some of you who renamed themselves, and I believe others, of course, if you can do so. And for those who are still not opening your cameras, if you can open your cameras also, it will be more engaging. Thank you so much for this. So we'll start with our questions. The first question, which is about one of the main concerns in AUB, about the courses. Guys, as you know, grading is currently a widely discussed topic. Many students believe that pass or fail option should be implemented, citing the slew of personal problems students are battling and all the issues we have in Lebanon. Last spring, however, the option was largely used by high-performing students to maintain their overall GPAs. The question here, do you believe that pass or fail option is the most viable solution? What other solutions are you willing to entertain? You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer this question. Yeah, like guys, to raising hand, who wants to answer this question? Okay, I will take Munzer from Change Starts Here. Munzer, 1 minute and a half.
Okay, thank you. So basically, the idea of implementing a pass or no pass option is not a solution per se to all the problems that caused the need for such a solution to exist. As a campaign and as individuals, you are aware that such a big measure of implementing such a big decision does not go without any negative effects, both to students and the university. But what we believe in is finding solutions to all the small problems that caused the need to implement such solutions, such as the low quality of online education, internet connectivity issues, uncoordination, if you might say, between professors and their students, along with many other issues. We need to find specific solutions to each one of them, but it is too late to do that during this semester. This is why we need something to be able to relieve the students from, one, the stress that they've been entailing, and two, to not undo the damage that has been done, but kind of find a way to make up for it.
Okay, so
that is why
way, basically, what is this way? Like, how can you do this?
Okay,
like,
so maybe.
What do you suggest?
Okay, there has already been discussion with the administration. Different parties from the student representation and clubs inside of AB have been discussing this with the administration, and maybe implementing a full-on pass or no pass option like the one implemented in summer cannot be achieved. Our goal is to find the moderate and most optimal solution with the administration. There are different partial steps between not including at all or including it completely. You can have. Yeah, that's it. Basically, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you so much, Munzer. I will take Karim from Campus Choice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karim Saadeh from the Campus Choice list. I just want to say that I completely agree with what Munzer said. And I want to mention that the Secular Club has been working on the pass-fail option for a long while now. And I just would like to add to what Munzer said is that I feel that the pass or fail option is a safety net more than a solution. The real solution to the need that created the pass and fail is working on the education system as a whole and how we are delivering this education and the quality of education to the students. In the end, just like I said, the pass or fail system is a safety net that will help students cope with the stress of online learning, that will help students cope with the quality of education that is offered right now and the type of education that is offered as well. I think that is all that I have to say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Karim. We go directly to Nader. Nader from Agents of Reform.
Yeah. So as Agents of Reform, we see that the solution for this semester, because of these hard circumstances, is implementing the pass-fail option, because we we believe that mental health is more important than anything. We know that there are some negative effects, and there might be some negative effects for this pass or fail option, but we believe that the stress and the circumstances that students are being put into are really hard. So by implementing the optional pass or fail option, you're giving the option for these students to choose whether to opt for the pass fail or to get a numerical grade. Even though some students are maintaining their GPAs, these students deserve this GPA because when things were normal, they got these GPAs fairly. So by doing this pass-fail option, even though they are maintaining their GPAs, there is a bit of concern of unfairness, but I think this is the best solution because mental health.
Okay, Nader.
Was I lagging? Am I lagging?
No, it's okay. No, it's fine.
Do you hear what I said, or should I repeat?
You can just continue if you have anything else to say. Just
No,
stop.
I'm done. I was just saying, as agents of reform, we feel that mental health is the most important thing.
Yeah.
There will be some negative effects for the pass or fail option, but we feel that students that have a high GPA, and by maintaining it using the pass or fail option, they got the GPA when circumstances were normal. So these are hard circumstances. We have to compromise with students and accommodate them.
Okay, thank you so much, Nader, for intervention. We go to Nuhad from Label Your USB. You have 1 minute and a half.
Hi. So basically, I completely agree with the opinions that have been given. The pass and fail option, yes, there is some unfairness with students that can maintain their GPA because they're not that affected by the situation. But the overall picture is that most students are being affected. So we have to take in consideration that the majority of the students want this option because it will affect their GPA. And like Nader said, the people who maintain their GPA before this situation deserve the right to be able to implement the option and keep their GPA the way it was, because most probably the reason it was affected was because of the situation we're going through.
Okay, thank you so much, Nuhad. So this is enough for this question. I guess we're having here agreement on this question, but I hope for the coming questions not to have this agreement in order not to have, because you are here 4 or 5 campaigns, we can make it one campaign in this way if there's agreement on everything. Okay, so we go to the second question. Come on, guys, we'll talk now about dollarization. The prospect of reversal of the dollarization of fees seems unlikely at present. So the currency rate for fees may even increase the next semester, basically. So I need here an action plan or mechanism. What is your step-by-step plan for tackling issues related to the payment in general? And how can you ensure that no student is left behind? Also, you will have 1 minute and a half to answer this question. I want a mechanism, an action plan for this, not just we don't need claims or demands. Okay, so just a step-by-step solution for this. Okay, so by raising hand, who wants to answer this question? Okay, so I will have Siba from Change Starts here.
Okay, so good afternoon for everyone. Thank you for having us. I want to talk about, first, I want to say that I might be talking some words in Arabic because I'm an Arabic major. I hope that everyone will understand.
We hope
okay, so
Siba,
basically
just use English because, as you know, we have international students who are watching this debate. Okay, but you can start.
Okay, thank you. So basically, the first thing that I wanted to say that as GSFCs, we want to ensure that when we are in this GSFC council, that every student in AUB should continue their studies in AUB without being يعني ينطردوا برات أو ما يكملوا بس because of financial issues. So first of all, we're gonna use all the budget of the USFC, not all, but maybe a good amount of this budget to for the sake of these students. Second of all, we wanna do something that we wanna say إنه نخلي التلاميذ يكون عندهم like إنه يكون في شيء واضح شيء ثابت بالقسط so everyone can say that they wanna keep on track with in the university. And third of all, we wanna ensure more financial aid and more financial help maybe from other entities out of the university.
Okay, thank you so much, Siba. You finished on time, basically. So we'll go to Nader.
Okay, so as USFCs, at first we know that the university or the main entity in the university are the students and the professors. So if the students are not satisfied, there is no university. That's why we should accommodate students to the maximum, in our opinion. And while we are negotiating with the administration, we must know that we as students have like al-afdaliyya or the priority and the financial circumstances and the economic crisis should not be held, we were not responsible for this economic crisis. So each individual in this university, we have to reunite with each other so that the university will remain, so that the university, which is historical in Lebanese history, would remain and stay working. That's why, as individuals, as agents of reform, we feel that the budget that the USFC has is not enough to accommodate a lot of students and to prevent the raising in the tuition. So because of the financial circumstances, of course, keeping the dollar rate 15.15 is really impossible, but we will do our near best to keep it at 15.15 or maximum not raising the rate into 3,900, I think, like they're talking. Maybe revert it to the Lebanese lira by increasing the Lebanese lira, by increasing the
10 seconds just to end your intervention.
Yeah, so anti-dollarize the tuition, keep it in the Lebanese lira by raising the tuition a little bit, but dollarization of the tuition is a disaster because we need something that is standard, because the dollar right now is increasing and decreasing and I don't know what. And
okay, I will be obliged basically to interrupt you, Nader. Thank you so much for your answer. I will go to Nohad. Please, guys, like whenever you end like your intervention, try like to stop raising your hand. Okay, so I will go to Nohad. Nohad.
Okay, so about what Nader was saying, the dollar, you have, my opinion is that you have to take in consideration that some students' parents don't, and some students also pay independently, they work for their money. In Lebanon, not everyone's paying in dollars anymore. If you put the tuition in dollars, many of your students won't be able to pay for the tuition. Of course, it's impossible to keep the tuition 1,500 for the dollar because of the economic crisis that's happening, but raising it to 3,900 or making it forced for students to pay in dollar is very unreasonable, because at the end of the day, without your students, what's the use of having the university? So my opinion is that we can talk about the credits and the payment for the credit by course. You can lower it. You can also understand that right now, everything we're doing is online. You want to raise tuition for students, and how are we learning? We're learning online. It's not fair that our tuition has to be raised when our quality of campus is not even there.
Okay, thank you, Nohad. Okay, we still have, I guess, Karim.
Hello, everyone. I think the issue of the dollarization of the tuition is an issue that the club has been working on for a while now. And I feel there are two main of these concerns is we need to get to a point where we have some effect on the whole, on the decision-making, I'm sorry, I stutter sometimes, of the whole tuition. Meaning that we need independent student council, we need an independent student-led council that sits and partakes in the decision-making within that council. That is our first part. Our second concern that I would like to address is we need to have a student financial, a signed student financial contract between the administration and the students. Third concern is reverting the dollarization. I just want to talk very quickly about this. We feel that the current expenses that we are having right now as an online education and as students, our tuition does not reflect this. We feel there are a lot of expenses that are paid that we are not using. Printing quotas, social activity fees. I know these might be small expenses, but at a huge number of students in AUB, they make a change. So that could be one thing that they could take away, since we are having our online education. And one more point I would just like to add is that I don't think it is, let's say, fair and logical I don't think it is fair and logical for AUB to price its expenses in dollars, while a lot of its expenses is in liras, and a lot of its staff, most of its staff is paid in liras.
Okay, thank you so much, Karim.
Sorry, Hassan.
Yes.
Is there a problem if I add something to Nader's point as agents of reform, like 15 seconds, 20 seconds? Or...
Yes, you can.
Also, I think as agents of reform, we were discussing about the dollarization of the tuition, about revisiting the financial aid office, because this problem doesn't affect everyone equally. Some of us have parents, for example, who work outside. Some students have parents who work outside, and so are less affected by the dollarization of the tuition as someone whose both of his parents are working in Lebanon and earning in Lebanese liras. So revisiting this financial aid decision would really help us kind of make sure that there's equity.
Okay, Firas.
Thank you.
Sorry for that. Okay, so we go directly to the third question, which is also one of the main problems, tackling one of the main problems that we are facing, which is about values. The answer for this question will be just for 1 minute. So I will say here, this is super interesting. All campaigns running in the upcoming this elections espouse secularism, independence. Everyone is independent here. You are saying that, and democratic discourse to some extent. You are espousing that. So what do these values really mean to you, and how can we verify your true belonging to them? Like, how can we know, like, why you are independent, or if you are dependent or not? And also what these values that I mentioned, like democracy, secularism, independence, mean to you, basically. Okay, so the answer for this question will be just for 1 minute. Raising hand. Yes, Nuhal.
Okay, so I'm going to first mention that we can't always know when somebody is going down independent. But what makes a person independent and why it's valuable is that being independent, you're not supporting anybody that put our country in this situation. You're not supporting a club that puts all students that live Lebanese citizens through the pain that we were put through. And I basically believe the way you can prove that somebody is independent, you can look around, you can ask the people that they're with every single day. Of course, there are going to be people that are going to come and doubt you. Of course, there are going to be people that want to say, no, you're not independent. You were politically affiliated with this group before, or you worked with this group. You have to take in consideration, back when people used to be politically affiliated, they didn't know what was happening. They didn't watch their country go through the pain that we went through. They didn't watch people lose their houses or their lives. Yes, that type of traumatic event makes somebody change their values. And
10 seconds to end your intervention.
And that's basically all I want to say, to always make sure before accusing somebody of being politically affiliated and to check about traumatic events that happen.
Okay, thank you so much, Nuhad. We'll go to Nadim, representing Change South here.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, first of all, for the debate. So concerning the question about secularism and independence, I think that the values that the campaign incorporates, including independence, secularism, and most importantly, inclusivity, all incorporate something that is very important and that is quintessential for what this campaign represents. And Change Starts Here truly stresses on the point of inclusivity and truly stresses on the point of secularism, to make sure that each and every individual, after this tumultuous year that we went through the mismanagement of a pandemic, through an economic crisis and through an explosion, having this independence and having secularism is extremely important, because as Lebanese, we need to unify ourselves now more than ever. And as students, we need to take this into consideration, that having an independent student council led by independent students for the students and by the students is something that has to be the top priority currently, because it does not only represent and reflect what is happening in the country, but we as youth of tomorrow, we need to know that our change starts here within university.
Okay, thank you so much. We go to Gael from Campus Choice.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I just wanted to raise a question first. So what does it mean to be independent? Does it mean we're just independent from like the political parties, or does it mean we're completely independent from like the entire system, patriarchy, all the negative aspects of our system, like racism and like the lack of inclusion and stuff? And I think that like when you're talking about independence, you're also including all of those values that come with it, which is inclusion, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, anti-sectarianism, which is like the definition of independence. And I think that that actually creates your entire political identity, and not just like the word independence. All of your values are the ones that will kind of make way for your vision and define the vision that you have, which is why it's so important to be showing your values as more, maybe just as much as the fact that you're independent, because not only will that like show other people like what you're about more than like just the fact that you're independent, but it also like shows your intentions towards like us. For example, at Secular Club, we always show our values as much as our independence, because it shows what kind of intentions we have for our university, what kind of future we want for our university, what kind of future we want for ourselves. And I guess that sets a very big example, not only for everyone in the
Gael,
university.
I obliged to interrupt you. Thank you so much for your answer. Nader?
Yeah, so as we're seeing, as agents of reform, we're seeing that the main issue and the main campaigns are just emphasizing on one point, which is independency. And like they forgot the concept, which is called competence, and they're just focusing on independency. As agents of reform, we are with secularism, we are with feminism, and we are with everything. But we know that the Title IX office is responsible for this, and we will be working. If we get to the student council, we will be working with the Title IX office to make it more inclusive, to make any kinds of racism and homophobia inclusive in this Title IX. But as values, we feel that our values are Lebanon and AUB first. We have to focus on the economic crisis in order to help the students first, because racism and homophobia are really important, but there's Title IX that is covering this. So we have to focus on something that is not covered and that will hurt students, which is mainly the financial crisis, which is, if we don't solve, students will leave the university and they won't continue education. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nader. Thank you guys for your answers. So we go to another question, which is also the answer for this question will be just for 1 minute. We'll talk about governance, and we'll say all campaigns basically here, as you can see, are either new or played limited roles in past student governments. So they don't have like this long experience in student governments. So how can you govern given your limited experience, you guys as candidates, and how thorough is your understanding of AUB's political landscape, basically? Through raising hand, who wants to answer? The answer should be for just 1 minute. Yes, Nader?
Sorry, I'm answering all questions, but I felt no one raised
Yeah,
his
I
hand.
hope like we have other representatives from agents of reform to answer other questions, but this is fine for this question. You can start, of course.
Yeah, okay. We think as agents of reform, experience doesn't come from being in the student council. Experience come from being between students and hearing the students' need. Being in the student council is knowing the students' need. It's a duty. By being active on campus and having experience, for example, I'm the president of the Bio Student Society. I have experience in helping students because most of the students face issues in capacities. Most of the students face issues in with professors, with faculties, with departments. So in terms of experience, we feel that we have the experience in terms of the major, which is the biology major or pre-med students, and we will be using the same criteria and we'll be using the same methods to serve the FAS faculty. So this is it. So experience doesn't come from being in the student council. We've seen political leaders that has been in the government for 30 years and we haven't seen anything. So time doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you, Nader. Karim?
So my name's Stephen, by the way. I'm with Karim.
Yes,
so sorry.
Karim and Stephen.
So honestly, I guess I'm really glad you asked the question, because what differentiates the secular club and campus choice from a lot of other groups running this year is our time as running independent. We've been running in student council elections now for 12 years and 8 consecutive years with the name campus choice. We have a very strong political culture, a very strong club culture, and we're a very organized club. We participate in a lot of different events and activities on and off campus. On-campus activities, you know, they're different from the off-campus ones. The off-campus ones, we participate in a lot of protests. We do a lot of things that we believe in and that we stand for. We're part of the Beirut Medinati group, which is the largest block of volunteers. And we're leading, honestly, the largest student-led independent campaign in the history of Lebanon, not just AUB. So it's pretty amazing, to be honest.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Okay, so we have Nuhat.
I would like to agree with a point that Nader said, that time does not matter. You don't need to have been in the student council to have an experience to be able to run in the student council and represent people. You have to be able to communicate. You have to have the communication skill to know what the people that you're going to be representing really need. Like Nader said, the political people that were representing us were in the government for so long and they were unable to satisfy us and protect us the way they were supposed to. With us right now, what's different is that we went through the traumatic events that we went through. We understand what it means to be in pain, and we understand what is needed for us to grow and become better. So it's the new voices that matter. It's the new voices that understand the pain that we went through that are supposed to represent the students. It doesn't matter what experience you had before, it matters which one you gained from this traumatic event.
Okay, thank you, Nuhat. It's the new voices that matter, cool. Okay, so we go to the representation question, which is our last general question for today. We'll end this part that was for like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. Munzer, I really didn't see you like raising your hand. Yes, Munzer, you can answer the question.
Okay, sorry. So basically, I would like to add on one of the points that actually Nader mentioned in the previous question. He spoke about competence, and I think the question you raised is it's a previous experience or previous relation to previous student governments is kind of a solution for competence. But this is why, as change starts here, the people that are running under our campaign for the student representative positions are all students who not only represent the independent values, but the students who've been around, as Nuhat was saying, and who have been in positions in clubs or in other entities, or previous student representatives, SRCs running for SFCs, or previous SFC candidates running again. So I believe that this is a point that should be really stressed on, that you need to check every single candidate. You're not voting for a campaign at the end of the day. You vote for candidates who are competent, who need to not only have experience or know what to do, they should be able to do it and do it well. And also in our, I'm sorry, I have a minute and a half. In our team, we have a policy making team that's actually the whole goal of this team is just to gather up the student issues and problems and be able to craft some solutions in order to be implemented by the representatives themselves.
Okay, thank you so much, Munzer. So we'll go to the question that already, like I started saying it, which is AUB student body is becoming basically increasingly diverse. Like every year, like some students from different backgrounds are like joining AUB from different countries. So basically, guys, the question here, like, how do you intend to fully represent this diversity? That being said, how would you represent basically certain demographics, such as, for example, international students or demographics basically which don't align with your campaign's values? Okay, so you have certain values for your campaigns, but others, of course, they have different values, and also we have international students, we have people from different backgrounds. So how can you represent basically this diversity? You have also 1 minute to answer this question. Nuhad.
Honestly, I love that you asked this question. I don't know if you've read my campaign. I'm a person that has lived abroad for most of my life in multiple countries. I've lived in at least 4 countries, without counting the ones I've visited. I am very used to different cultures, international students, and the way I would represent them is by experiencing the different cultures in different countries. I understand it very well. And about international students, I feel that there aren't enough events or worldwide events that do happen around the world. AUB does not represent them or have, let's say, African American Month. We don't have any awareness on that. And we do have African American students, and we have students that come from Africa. I've lived in Ivory Coast, in Congo, Kinshasa. I do feel that I can stand and defend and represent students. I understand where they come from. So this way, I do feel that I can represent them because of my background.
Okay, thank you, Nuhad. Yes, we have here Nadim.
Yes, good evening once again. So concerning the part of representation from people coming from not only different ethnic backgrounds, but different backgrounds in general, I of course do agree with the fact, with everything also that Nuhad said, but I also think that a very big point that is essential to finding representation is communication. And having the right flow of communication between individuals who are part of the university and individuals who are also internationals or come from different backgrounds is the bridge that is going to help us link these two groups together and have them more unifying. But I think also something that is extremely important, that us, at least me, who is a resident of this country, I should of course represent and help these people, but I should also encourage and push them so that they can have their own specific place within our AUB community and within our society, pushing them to find their own voices within campus and on campus, so that they would be able to truly be part of the big AUB family.
Okay, thank you, Nadim. So Ahmad, this time not Nader. Yes, Ahmad, you can start. 1 minute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Coming from abroad, similar to Nuhad, I've lived outside of Lebanon for almost 18 years of my life. So I know how international students feel when they come from abroad to a totally new country. They feel like an alien. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to talk, how to interact with people. Some people might look at them differently. And living abroad, I've experienced that, and I know what they deal with, and I understand every single issue they might bring up. However, in AUB, we've seen that we have Title IX. Title IX has done a very good job about raising awareness about political correctness, social correctness, how to interact with certain people, what is allowed to say, what is not allowed to say, to ensure that we do not offend anyone by accident. So the collaboration with Title IX, we can ensure that students from different multiple international backgrounds are able to be included into this community. And we've already seen many clubs, such as the African Club, raise more awareness and and direct us to these international students to know about them and to learn about them.
Yes, Ahmad, I'm sorry for interrupting you. So, okay, so here it is. So we will move now. We are officially basically ending the first part of our debate, which is about general questions, just the questions, answers. You are not guys like defending yourself. Okay, so I have someone who wants like to give answer for the last question. Like anyone more who wants to participate? Yes, I can give you a chance, Karim and Stephen. I can give you a chance, no problem. Although I started talking about the second part, but I want to hear from everyone.
I am very sorry for being late in raising my hand. I just wanted to add one very important point is having different groups like the AUB Secular Club and like Change Starts Here with in itself will accommodate to different umbrellas and different groups of students according to that club or entity's values. And concerning how the secular club deals with a wide variety of values, we have an internal structure we have a lot of internal organizational structure that actively deals with this, whether it's activities inside of universities and talks, or whether it's like projects outside of university as well. We are accepting for a small discussion with any values, but there are some certain values that we do not accept, just like racism, just like sexism. And I think this needs to be set clear. There's a clear difference between what different values are and just bad values and bad things to believe in general. Thank you.
Yes, Gael?
No, I just wanted to add to what Karim said, that the secular club is not just a Lebanese club. It's a club that is in Lebanon. Okay, we have always in all of our history stood for inclusion of all marginalized groups, of all groups that were against against whom that were discriminated against, and we've always worked towards providing a more welcoming campus for all.
Okay, Gael, thank you. Of course, I'm glad to interrupt you because campus choice already you took the 1 minute allowed for you to answer this question. I will go now to our second part for this debate. As you know, as you saw, guys, like the first part was basically some questions and answers. We want AUB students, we want the AUB community, we want everyone who will vote on November, after 2 days, to see you guys answering these questions and to listen to your thoughts. It's just like once a question and answer fashion. Okay, so however, now you will be asking specific questions for specific campaigns. So I will be saying the change starts here, you have this question and you will have this time to answer this question. Basically, all the questions should be answered in 2 minutes. I want one representative from the campaign that I say its name to answer this question in 2 minutes only, okay? So you guys will be defending yourself sometimes. I want to, of course, to follow all the rules that Muhammad talked about at the beginning during this part, basically. Okay. The first question will be for Change Starts Here. Why shouldn't we believe that your independence is basically fake, especially when a considerable chunk of your candidates were politically affiliated or still are? 2 minutes to answer this question.
Should I raise my hand? Well,
yes, Change Starts Here. Someone from Change Starts Here. You can, yes, you should raise your hand. It's better. Yes, you can start. Munzer. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So basically, first of all, I want to set something straight. Believing if someone is independent or not is up to every single person to decide on their own. There is no specific formula or criteria to decide if this person is independent or not, and there has been previous cases in the people we recruited at Change Starts Here where someone was claiming to be independent and they ended up not being, and we did not accept them to join our team. So basically this point stands for us as Change Starts Here and for every single person who was previously politically affiliated. No one has the right to say these are yes independent or these are not.
I guess Munzer, AUB students and the voters have the right to say this is independent or not. They will vote. Yes. Okay. So how can you defend yourself in this? If you can answer my question.
Okay, so basically, everyone who the people who have formed Change Starts Here and started this as the cabinet have all been openly independent since before the revolution, and actively demonstrated this belief of theirs in the protests very openly. Again, when you say independent, we're saying independent from all the political entities inside of AUB that were controlling and manipulating this country for the past 30 years. Again, the people who started this entity are all independent since before the revolution, and you have a very strict scouting process for scouting and recruitment process for every single member joining us. We check their background. Anyone who's previously politically affiliated has to prove, not just say that okay أنا تغيرت, لا, they have to prove it openly to people through discussions. We asked their friends previously if they had any discussions or interactions about the matter previously, and this is basically kind of the recruitment process that happens. And again, every single person has the right to doubt or not doubt what's happening, but in the end, a person has to make a decision.
Munzer? So Nuhad is asking question here. Okay. Of course, we'll have after this part a debate where you guys will be asking questions to each other and answering these questions. So don't worry. Okay, so the second question will be for both campaigns. Will be for secular and will be for CSH. Okay, so for campus choice and CSH. There's a general disdain towards the Lebanese mentality of voting for a list without considered thought. By preaching independence, don't you think basically you are inadvertently turning this mentality and pushing voters to vote for entire list basically of candidates without too much into the individual candidates? So you're like pushing them to just vote for a list of candidates and not for individual candidates, basically, just because the list is independent, especially that you have like a big campaign as campus choice or as Change Starts Here. So who wants to start answering this question? 2 minutes for each campaign. Who wants to start? Okay, I will have Munzer, I guess. If you are, I don't know if you are still, you want to answer this question?
Yes.
Yes, you can start. Change Starts Here. You can.
So basically, as I said previously, we're not asking people to vote for us because we're independent. Being independent is one of our main values, but this is not the reason people should vote for us or to any other campaign or individual. This is just something that we like to say about ourselves, that this is one of our main values. Again, as I said previously, the candidates that we chose based on, one, they met our values. This is why they became members of our group. Two, they were competent people who could, who we believe could make a change if and could basically make good use of their positions if elected. And three, of course, one of the criteria we chose to elect these people is if they are good candidates or not. So again, it's not about being independent or not. Being independent is just one of the values of the campaign, but it's all about competence. It's all about the work that people have done previously or not. We're not asking people to vote for the campaign. Again, otherwise we would not have advertised the people who are running. We're asking people to vote for we're asking voters to vote for the people running under the campaign's name. For example, on our Instagram page, every single candidate is tagged on the picture. We're asking everyone to contact our candidates. All the platforms have our candidates' numbers on them. Contact this candidate, talk to them, ask them about your issues, talk to them about your problems. Something was not mentioned in the platform, tell them about it. They'll add to their platform if they believe that this thing truly needs to be fixed. Again, it's not about the campaign. The campaign is just about helping everyone who wanted to work on this individually and who found the group that they felt like they could be part of, to make the change on a bigger scale and not only on separated small scales. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Campus choice.
Yeah, hi guys. So look, honestly, when we're looking for people to vote for us, we not only don't encourage, we actually don't accept voters who just vote for us because of who we are, because they know us, because they're our friends. For example, I'm running for USFC and OSB, and I'm sure a lot of potential candidates who might vote for me can tell you this. When I'm hoping to gain their vote, I tell them, I don't want your vote, I want to earn it. And that's something we stand by. we really want to push our campaign and our values. For us, independence is a must at this point. It's a necessity. It's no longer something that differentiates us from the rest. And because everybody's independent, we believe it's our campaign, our values, and our process of gaining votes that really separates us from the pack. So,
can I add on this?
Yes, you still have 1 minute and 15 seconds. You can.
Okay. Just to mention that the AB Secular Club is the first entity to ever introduce a platform more than, I don't know, 7 years ago, I guess. Other than that, most of our platforms are very, very, very specific. Most of our faculty platforms include more than one page for a platform. So we really try to put a lot of time, we really try to listen to student concerns, and we really try to put the club in the student's path in terms of putting the club where students' concerns are heading and solving their concerns, and not drafting, not steering students into our club and our concerns. It's us, the candidates, the club, the campaign, the platform that put ourselves out there for student needs, for us to earn their votes and not for them to vote for us blindly.
Can I ask them a question, or is it for the third section?
Yes, it's for the third question. Guys, if you have any question, third part, if you have any question, if you want to ask it for the other candidates, the debate will be for you guys for 30 minutes for you to ask questions to each other. And yes, we'll have this interesting debate directly after the specific questions. Okay, so the third specific question will be for secular people too. Okay, so before I so before I continue to that third question, okay, so I can continue the third question. Yes, for secular people, will you continue, the question is, will you continue this approach of mistrust and antagonism with previously affiliated individuals? Campus choice.
Sorry, do you mind repeating the question just one more time, a bit slower? The internet's a little slow for us.
Yes, of course. Whenever you want me to repeat that question, I can. Will you continue this approach of mistrust and antagonism with previously affiliated individuals? Like we mean here, guys, that you guys usually say, or you show for AB students that you don't basically trust previously affiliated individuals, and these were some of the comments on other campaigns and some interventions. Okay, so can you clarify this campus choice?
I'd like to say that we have never had any type of antagonism, and we have never ever had any type of mistrust, nor have we showed it in the past towards previously affiliated individuals. If we have shown it, then that's not accurate. We have never. We are against the political parties, not the individuals, and we have always stood by everyone proving themselves. We've never had any negative attitude toward any previously politically affiliated individuals that have wanted to present themselves as individuals. Now we've always pushed for each individual proving themselves and earning our trust. And we've always been against the political parties themselves and the idea behind these political parties, and not the individuals. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Gaye. Okay, we have another question also. This time it will be for agents of reform. So the question is basically, why didn't you join? As you know, guys, we always have common stuff, common demands, common platforms, somehow similar platforms between campaigns. So the question here will be for agents of reform. Why didn't you join the secular club when you both preach the same values? What differences your platform from what basically differentiates you from the secular club? Where do you think the secular club has succeeded, and where do you feel the secular club has failed? Agents of reform.
Okay. Yeah, can I answer? I raised
2
my
minutes.
hand.
Yes.
Okay. So as I've mentioned before, we as agents of reform, we ran as independent individuals because we feel that the main problem is voting for a club, not for the person. This is the main difference between us and the secular club. And if we want to do an analogy to the Lebanese parliament, in the Lebanese parliament, when the revolution and the protesting took place, we said كلهم يعني كلهم the 128 that were part of this process, and secular club was one of them because they were with the revolution, they were with the protesting. But the secular club, they had student representatives from 2008 and Campus Choice 2012, and in 2017 they had the vice president of the student council. But right now they're saying that they are not responsible for anything. We're not holding them accountable for anything. But why not having independent candidates running with alone without any party, even independent party? Why shouldn't we vote for the individual that is running? Not because it's been since 2008 that we have an independent club. If you're independent from 2008 doesn't mean that you will change more than an individual that is independent this is the first year he runs, or a list that runs for the first time as independent. So this is my response for this question.
I'm sorry, I'm muted. Thank you so much, Nader. Of course, for the campus choice, leave your reply for the debate, third part of our event for today. So for CSH, change starts here. We have a question. Why did you scout previously affiliated people only to have such distrust within your organization? What do these people have to gain by denouncing their affiliations publicly, at least? Why did you contact people that you already know that they have some political beliefs? Change starts here.
Okay, so hi. Basically,
yeah, Munzer, okay, in the other questions, if you can have other representatives, but you can, of course, start. Okay, you can answer this question.
Okay, so basically I'm answering this question because I'm responsible for the recruitment process inside of Change Starts Here.
Yes, you can.
Let me just say one thing. Change Starts Here not only has previously affiliated people, but we actually support previously ex-politically affiliated people. And I'm going to tell you why. Basically, we've been living in an environment where previously it was the norm to be a politically affiliated or أنا مع الحزب أو أنت مع الحزب. But now it's not, I'm not going to say it's not the case anymore, but anyone who's finding themselves leaving, or they're starting to change inside of their own head and they want to leave their political parties, they're searching for some place to include themselves. They want to see that society includes these people, and they weren't able to find that, unfortunately, previously. And this is why Change Starts Here encourages these people to join them. We have nothing against these people. This is why our recruitment process makes sure that this person is not sketchy or faking his independence just to enter the club and our group, and just run. So this is why, again, I'm saying we encourage them to join us. It's not something that we're ashamed of. On the contrary, it's something that we're proud of. We're finding this new platform for everyone to run from, not only run from, but be a part of. And I'm sorry, I missed you. You asked like 3-4 questions. I'm sorry if I missed any of them. Is there anything I need to clarify even more?
I guess this is okay, Munzer. Thank you so much for intervention. We go to another question here. We have the question for secular people, for campus choice. I just want, of course, the answer to this question and not any comment on other questions. So the question is, you both basically a poor record when it comes to implementing the change within the student government. It's basically, this question is somehow similar to the comments of other campaigns. This was the most evident basically when you had a lot of members in the past government, in the last elections. What do you attribute this to, especially when your goals for the student body often align with political parties?
I'm just sorry, can you?
I'm not hearing you. secular people. I guess you have connection issues. Okay, so Gael, I guess you are from secular too, if you want to answer this question. Just not in order not to wait.
Could you please repeat the question?
Yes, I can repeat it. Okay, so you boast basically a poor record when it comes to implementing change within the student government. This was most evident basically when you had a lot of members in the past government. What do you attribute this to, especially when your goals for the student body often align with other political entities?
Can you reformulate?
Yes, I can say basically that you guys were basically in the past governments. You guys like had a lot of members, especially in the past government. However, your goals or your work basically was somehow unaligned with the other political entities, and you didn't basically make this a change. This is the claim here, or this is the question. So how can you reply to this? I have here maybe
for
yes.
interluding.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the
Gael,
secular
if you
club.
still want to answer this, I can give you a chance. Or if you want Karim to answer it.
Yeah, so I'd like to answer it. I was
Okay, yeah, just one thing. I apologize for interluding. The secular club hasn't really been involved in past governments, but there was one time it had a lot of members in comparison to other years. So we just wanted to clarify that from our end. Apologies for any confusion in the question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hassan?
Thank you, Muhammad. Yes, you can reply secular.
Yeah, hi guys. Look, honestly, first, I think it's important to realize that while we may have held chairs in the past, that we've always been a minority in student council politics. And when you're on the frontier of change, it's very hard to make change without people's support. I mean, for us, even running right now, we're facing difficulties being the secular club. Nothing can be done without people supporting and believing in your movement. And for a long, long time, people were not openly willing to support us, nor even privately support us. And it made it very difficult when we pushed policies that people may or may not have agreed with to actually implement them. That being said, things that we have done and have changed are things like the tuition fees. We worked on the tuition fees in 2013 from a 9 to 3% difference, and we've adjusted things like the SAO club policy, monitoring student posting on social media and stuff. And we ultimately have made changes and have made differences, just maybe not to the scale that we dream of making. So my apologies for the internet issues. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers.
So in short, ما خلونا, I've heard this before. ما خلونا, we don't have this.
First, Nader, I didn't allow you to comment on this, so
Yeah,
we leave it for the debate. We have. Sorry. Okay, so we'll continue with our questions. We have a question here for Change Starts here. The question is, after only 2 weeks of the foundation of your movement as a Change Starts here, there was an internal scandal which led to the resignation of one of the main founders of your organization. How are we supposed, as students, as AUB students, to put faith and vote for you for this movement when you were not able to properly handle your scandals and your internal issues? Was the resignation a PR stunt? Or like, for example, like how did you finance basically having this or having a rented office to operate? So how can you reply to this if you guys like are not solving your internal problems? You already have internal problems. So how can you, like, for example, vote for you to solve problems of AUB students? Can you reply to this? Munzer, if you have other representative, I'm sorry, but I need just to hear from everyone.
The other representative answered other questions, but I was directly involved in.
Yes.
Munzer,
you can start. You can start.
I promise. بسحب حالي بعدين. So basically,
no problem.
You were asking about how the students should be able to trust us if there has been an internal feud, if you might say, in between our members. So basically what happened is there was a common agreement not to act in a specific way towards many different things. There has been multiple common agreements and multiple, let's say, methods of actions and code of conducts that we had agreed upon. And one of the members of Change Starts Here, a member in the advisory board, went against all of these agreed upon rules. And once the group found out, the matter was immediately discussed with him, and he immediately submitted his resignation from the entity. And I want to say that this is exactly why I think people should trust us. We saw the person who left us was a really valuable person to us. He was part of the advisory board. He gave invaluable advice to us. And even him, anyone who disagrees, anyone who disregards set rules, disregards set standards, disregards set rules of conduct, and acts on their own in the name of the entity or alone, this is something we cannot tolerate. And anyone who does that, from president, from advisor, member, cabinet member, head, to anyone, this is not something that we tolerate, and this is not something that we agree on, and this is why we dealt with the situation the way we dealt with.
Okay, thank you, Munzer. So we have a question here also for secular people. So for Campus Choice Campaign, the question is, in your platform as a Campus Choice Campaign, you expressed your mission to ensure a more safe and free campus for women and marginalized groups. One of the methods to accomplish this was to improve the implementation of Title IX. However, Title IX is enforced basically by AUB as an American university and doesn't take basically into account an absence of certain laws, such as, for example, sexual assault. Okay, so given this, how would you proceed with implementing a better understanding of Title IX in AUB as Campus Choice Campaign?
Okay, so I think that like one big thing that we need to do in order to make the campus safer, which would also contribute to all that includes Title IX and the education that Title IX provides, would be mostly raising awareness on sexual assault, whether it's on a campus level or on a individual level, because everything starts by one person, and people holding their friends accountable, holding their relatives accountable. And as well, we could also do this through campaigns. So contextualizing Title IX training to Lebanon's context, especially knowing that Lebanese laws don't necessarily include or have laws that help in those situations and that help us avoid those situations.
Okay, thank you, Gael, for your answer. Of course, guys, you have 2 minutes to answer these questions. So if you for example, are not taking all of your time, so if you want to make things more clear, you can take them all. Okay, so you want to take the other minute, you still have 1 minute. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I just wanted to add to what Gael was saying. Honestly, Title IX in and of itself is not an issue. We think it does raise awareness in a very simplified sense for a lot of very important things to consider. But where we seek to improve is on the less overt cases and more on the covert cases, meaning Title IX will give you the basics. It will give you a foundational understanding, and it will raise awareness to some extent. What we hope to do in addition to Title IX, possibly improving on Title IX, is to provide more examples that are relevant to us in considering our demographic, our location, our everything, and provide examples on the more covert cases of things like sexual harassment, intimidation, bullying, and other things like this. So,
and if I could add just one question. Personally, I know a lot of students fear going through Title IX. A lot of students fear going through Title IX because of the consequences the other students are going to receive. They من الآخر ما بيحبوا يأذوا حدا, which is wrong. Just saying this, يعني.
Okay, thank you so much, Karim and Steven. So we'll move basically to this question will be to Nuhad. Nuhad, you are hearing us, right? Okay, so the question is that there has been speculating evidence that you have political ties, that you campaign with LMC, which is the Lebanese Mission Club. who have previously endorsed artificially independent and secular candidates. Are you ready to fully denounce yourself from LMC in this meeting with us today, or do you acknowledge that you received a certain help or assistance from this club, basically?
I completely denounce myself from that club because the proof that were shown that I was affiliated with LMC, I have proved on my main Instagram account that was deactivated, but on that account, I proved that I wasn't only in the LMC group, I was in all political
So can you like
party.
show us this proof in your answer? For example, like can you explain this proof or tell us how can you defend this?
Last year when I first entered AUB, I knew nothing about political parties because I haven't lived in Lebanon. I really don't know anything about them. But I have friends that that were part of political parties. I didn't find any problems helping them at all. So I helped multiple friends from Mustaqbal, from Social Club. I didn't help anyone from LMC last year's campaign. I joined later for previous's and notes. And I do have friends from LMC, and that's why I also joined their club. But I also was in social. I helped secular club members that were my friends last year, and Mustaqbal and social, mostly social, because that's where my closest friends were. And I were in their groups. But what people don't understand is that most people that are in those WhatsApp groups are in it because of the privileges you can attain that most of those political parties use to get their voters. So I wasn't affiliated with anyone, and I proved it multiple times, and I can still show the screenshots whenever needed. And my friend can vouch for it.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Nohad, for your answer. Of course, I don't know if Dr. Sana left us. Of course, I would like to thank you, Dr. Sana, for joining us for today. We'll have also here another question. This question will be the last specific question. So we'll be ending this part with this question. The question will be for two campaigns, the two biggest campaigns for CSH, Change Starts Here, and for secular people, for Campus Choice. Okay, so the question is, it's super interesting. You portray yourselves as a student movement based in, but not limited to AEB. What is your stand on the governmental student dollar, which allocates part of the few dollars left in Lebanon to Lebanese students outside, all while the education sector here is crashing? Would you support a similar legislation for Lebanese universities, and would you link the supports to government's supervision and tuition and programs? So who wants to start? CSH or Campus Choice?
Could you rephrase the question, please?
Yes, I can rephrase it. Of course, like our questions somehow like long because they like have more than one part. However, like the question is basically that you guys are not only limited to AUB as two campaigns. You are claiming that you are limited basically, especially for Campus Choice, and you are limited to like you're not limited and you work outside AUB. So basically, there's something called governmental student dollar. So we need to know what is your position regarding basically regarding the governmental student dollar, which basically allocates part of the few dollars left in Lebanon with people, and if you support a similar legislation for Lebanese universities regarding this governmental dollar. So this is basically a general question that basically targets your position on a general topic, not basically only AUB based, but if you want to legislate or if you want to implement this, it will, of course, this will be part of your answer. Okay, so this is the question. And the last part was if you would like to link this support to government's supervision on tuitions and programs. So it has like more than one part. I know like our questions somehow are long, but I want to hear answers to this. Even if you guys like can two of you like answer this one first part and the other second part, I don't mind. Okay, so that's it. Yes, who wants to start? Campus Choice or CSH?
Do you mind if we just take like 20 or 30 seconds just to organize our thoughts to answer this question since it's a long one?
I don't mind, like 20 seconds maximum. Just
I can go first if you want.
Yes, CSH, Change Starts Here, you can.
Okay, so basically, we are students in Lebanon. So we represent all Lebanese students if you want to talk about it. The issue of dollarization, مش dollarization, الدولار الطلابي. We know that some students who are studying abroad, they cannot continue studying because of this issue. So we have to stand for it, and we stood for it. We went to the Ministry of Education several times. We addressed this issue and we talked about it, and we should talk about it because the government is not only oppressing, we can say, students in Lebanon. They are oppressing also students outside of Lebanon. So as a big movement that is not limited to the university, to AUB only, we have to stand for this issue. So as a CSH, we see that the Lebanese government, who failed us several times, should implement a new rule or قانون جديد to ensure that all students outside of Lebanon, like inside of Lebanon, should have the right to continue studying, continue their university studies, because they deserve it as Lebanese citizens and students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Siba, for this. Secular people, if you have an answer for this question.
Yes, I would just like to say that it is a very important right for every student to have a good quality education. And I really need to say that the big issue is with the dollarization of the tuition, and the big issue is a big part of our youth going abroad to study. I think a lot of us here can agree that the quality of education in Lebanon, and especially at AUB, is at a very high standard compared to the region. And we should support that. We should push students, and we should push Lebanese youth to stay in their country and to actually study in their country and hopefully work in their country. This is a whole ecosystem, and the student education is only a part of it. Students are a very important part and a key player in this ecosystem because they are the youth. That's part one. Part two, I just wanted to talk that if we revert the dollarization locally in Lebanon, we would not have any need for a student dollar. I think that's all I have to say.
If you don't mind, I'm going to add on to what Karim was saying.
Yes, you can add. You just have like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, I guess it's just very important to use the limited resources we have, such as these student dollars, to provide incentive for Lebanese students to come back to Lebanese universities. We provide a world-class education at AUB. It's a globally renowned institution, and it's important to provide students with encouragement to come back here. If those student dollars would best be used helping to revert the dollarization, I think it'd be an interesting move.
Okay, so now we can end basically this question. So if I was actually noticed that if you have any comment for AB Outlook, if you have the comment that you wanted to say before the debate, basically, I can give you a chance to say this comment.
I would just
thank you for
the Outlook team.
Yeah.
Through online education and through the pandemic and through all of the efforts, you guys are meeting the needs and making things done. Getting things done. Sorry. Yeah. So kudos to you guys. يعطيكم ألف عافية.
Really.
Thank you. Yes, Muhammad, if you want to add.
Okay, so is that the last question? Are we moving on to the debate now?
I'm gonna have to interlude for a bit, just to address two things. The first one is just getting a few comments. I'm working behind the scenes with the team, and we really want campaigners here to be mindful that let's try and actually give some content, some actual plans for the students who have concerns. I know we're really in a very heated kind of political atmosphere right now. The question of, are you independent? Are you not? Is this even part of the equation at this point? let's kind of also try and refrain from that dialogue and also go into the direction of these are students with actual concerns, and we actually want to hear some plans from you. And then as you know, we sent you an email 2 weeks ago saying that it's our responsibility to ensure a very fair coverage of the elections, and this also includes making sure that all the campaigns are well represented. I have to announce that we actually reached out to everyone, and we've reached out to all the political clubs back at the roundtable. We've reached out to all the campaigns in the USFC from the list of the that the SAO sent over. But I find it's my responsibility to address the students right now, to announce that you have campaigns who feel like, you know, your vote is not worthy of them showing up right now and answering some of your questions. So I announce these campaigns. So we have the first campaign that refrained from voting is the Future of Arts and Sciences. These are USFC candidates, obviously running for the FAS faculty who have refrained, quote unquote. This is not something we agree with. We do not like this type of platform. I leave that to you to do with that what you may. We also have the To Be Free campaign. We had writers spend hours yesterday putting together questions last minute once we invited you to this debate, and then last minute you decided not to join without any heads up, without any, you know, common courtesy, because this is hours of work put in, only to tell me, yeah, the students can watch our video that we've, you know, spent a lot of editing power on. Students should ask for better, I have to say that. And this also goes out to one last comment to someone running for vote for one FAFS, threatening one of my members at Outlook to Title IX simply for reminding you to join a debate which you committed to. That's not a tool for you to abuse, and that's not an excuse for you not to join this debate and answer these questions. Whether you like it or not, you have a responsibility. Once you put your name there on the ballot, it's your responsibility to answer these questions. And you can actually take me to Title IX if you still want to build on that narrative. And that's all I have for today. I represent the paper, and I need to make sure that students understand I have your best interests here, and good luck to the candidates.
Okay, thank you, Colleen. To add to what Colleen said, we do not endorse any of this behavior. We highly discourage it. We do not believe it is constructive to discourse. That being said, my only advice is that you look at platforms and not the individuals running on platforms, and you focus on the issues that the student body is facing at present. So without further ado, we will be moving on to the debate. Hassan?
Yes, so I would like to stress on the comments that, of course, the manager said, and we'll try our best, guys. I want you all to set your plans better, to represent your plans. We're not here to discuss personal stuff. We're not here just to read from papers. We're here just to set our plans, because AUB students are watching us, and you will vote for the most convincing campaign. Okay, so we have now the second part of the third part of this debate, or for this event. This part will be basically for around 30 minutes, 20 minutes to 30 minutes. So in this part, you guys basically will be giving your questions to the other campaigns. I will give here chance for all the campaigns, for the 4 campaigns that are present here, to give their questions, to ask each other questions. However, of course, I will be also moderating this debate, so you guys can't talk at the same time. You will be given, for example, I will give chance for one of the campaigns to talk, for example, for each campaign for 2 minutes, and then I will have, for example, comment for 1 minute and then 1 minute. Okay, so there is specific time for your answers, and I don't want you, of course, to interrupt each other, even if you, for example, need to comment or need to reply to a certain claim. Okay, so let it be let's stay calm and let's, for example, like as much as we can, try to follow the rules of this debate. Okay, so.
Hassan, I've been just informed by a member of my team that a journalist here amongst us, Eli, there's someone that's been impersonating, people in the comment section on YouTube. We were going back and forth between disabling this option and not, but we decided not to. So please do not abuse this. And I want people to be very mindful to take this whole live chat with a grain of salt. I apologize. We're trying to block some people who are,
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry also for not like maybe like reading this message yet, or like I don't know if I answered to it, but I'm getting a lot of messages in the chat box. So yes, thank you so much for intervention. Okay, and things of course can be fixed. This is not accepted. Yes, so I will give chance first to Nuhat to start this debate. She had a question before during our questions part. She wanted to say this question, but of course it's time now to set your questions. So Nuhat, you have 2 minutes if you want to reply to any thing that was said basically by the other campaigns, and if you have any question for any campaign. So this debate should be filled with questions. So you guys will be asking each other and try to comment on each other, of course, in a very respectful and democratic way. Okay, Nuhat, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, first I have 2 questions for the CSH campaign. My first one was, you stated that all your members were previously not affiliated with any political party, or that they left their political party, some of them, before the Thawra, but we have proof as students, I'm not talking as a candidate right now, but as students, that most of your candidates representing themselves left their political group maybe like 2 weeks before even joining the elections. That was my first question. And my second question, you say that only one member from your cabinet acted on their own with the scandal that happened, but is it every single member that contacted me and other students to join them while they knew they were politically affiliated, but in my case, they contacted me despite me declining it? Was it them acting on their own all the time? And if it's each member of your club that's acting on their own, how are we supposed to trust, since about half of them act on their own and not on the principles that you say you have and the values that you have?
Okay, Nuhat. So will I have a reply?
Hassan, I'm sorry to interlude, but Ellie would like to have a minute to clarify the incident which happened on the comment section of our YouTube live stream. Ellie, you may unmute. I apologize for this interjection.
Can, and then we'll continue with our debate. Yes, Ellie. Thank you, Muhammad, for raising this.
So can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Eli, you have like 1 minute to say what you want to say, just in order not to take more time. Yes.
Well, I've been receiving messages from people that I've been apparently in the chat. However, I'm a guest with you in the meeting. I don't even have the same chat box that's present with the people that are commenting on the video. And so I don't know who the imposter is, but he's acting kind of sus. Other than that, I totally said publicly that I was affiliated with AUB Social Club, and I did post some stories. Can you hear me?
Yes, now, yes, now, if you can.
And I did post stories clarifying what happened with me, what the conditions were, why I left. And they're saying that they have screenshots that I'm still affiliated with them. Well, I do have screenshots from the president of the social club at AUB saying that I'm not politically affiliated with them. Thank you.
Okay, Eddie, thank you for this clarification. Sorry somehow to hear such stuff, and we hope things like get better in the comment section. We hope people like, of course, shows respect for each other more, and of course too, because we are here we'll have a democratic elections, and we are here to discuss plans and not personal stuff. Okay, so yes, anyone like wants to reply to the questions of Nuhat? from Change Starts Here?
Yes, I've raised my hand. Concerning your first question, Nohad, we stated before that the founding members of Change Starts Here were the people who were independent and non-politically affiliated since the revolution. But the current members that are within Change Starts Here are actually people who have left their political parties and have renounced their political affiliations throughout three main processes, which are, first of all, the Thawra, second of all, the economic crisis, and third of all, the explosion that occurred. And so that is just in answer to the first question. And I believe one of my colleagues will be answering the second one.
So
yes,
to answer the second question that Nuhad raised, again, only one member of Change Starts Here was responsible for sending the screenshots. Again, he did this independently, بلا ما ينسق مع any of the rest of the team, and again, this person left. Now, concerning the people who spoke to Nuhad, the people who were basically doing the recruiting, so there's the scouting and recruiting process that happened. All of the members talk to their friends. Anyone who's interested in joining is referred to the recruitment team. It's very important to note that everyone who spoke, the two people that spoke to Nuhad in the screenshots she posted on her Instagram stories, were members of Change Starts Here. Yes, they were her friends talking to her about joining Change Starts Here. Yes, they are not members of the recruitment team. The member who spoke to her and told her that she will get like she has a guaranteed position to run with us. This was a misconception. We clarified it with this member on what are the authorities that he can say, the promises that he can give. Again, these were friends of Nuhad contacting her, and they were part of doing the scouting process. Every single person scouted, politically affiliated or not, goes through the recruitment process, goes through the filtration process, if you might say. And if I may add also that there have been some comments directed towards Nuhad or towards other people.
Munzer, I will be obliged to stop you because we don't we can't give time more for this. Any reply from others? Yes, if I have reply from Nader.
Yeah, so I was saying that both the main clubs that are running their campaigns and are running for the elections, they are stating that they want independent individuals in the council. But honestly, I'm not seeing no difference between this year and previous years, because in the previous years, political parties, they wanted to win the university, نربح الجامعة. For example, political party X won the جامعة, political party Y won the university, and they got most seats. And I'm not seeing no difference between these previous events and this event, because this year, the secular club and the CSH, they were recruiting individuals, including ones that were on my own list. Even though they did propagandas against them, saying that they are politically affiliated because they didn't join them. So I'm not seeing no difference between previous years and this year. That's why we ran as independent candidates, and what they're doing is that they're attacking personally and cyberbullying each individual that is running against them because they want to win the university. This is a bold comment, and this is something that is bold to say, but I figured that students have the right to know because I don't have a big platform to defend myself, but they are attacking me, Nuhad, and many others personally and cyberbullying us, even though I didn't do a video to discuss this. I don't have a large platform. They're working, they want CSH to win or secular club to win, not independent to win.
Yes, if you allow me, yes, we got your point. Thank you for this. I will just give the turn for Nuhad for just 1 minute, and then 1 minute for secular people, and then we will change the topic of this debate. We'll go back to the general questions to discuss some policies about some important issues that we care about more than other stuff that AV people are waiting us to debate about it. Okay, so yes, I will go to Nuhad for just 1 minute if you want to reply or say something.
First thing off, I just want to say it seems like many of your members act on their own, and you should recheck with them for them to stop spoiling and ruining your club's name if that's what you're concerned about mostly. And second of all, you say Ibrahim acted on his own, that cabinet member. Was he individually, he was the only one acting on the cyberbullying that your members put me through for more than 3 to 4 days. They're the ones that affected my mental health and my ability to able to show my platform to people. Was that also one person and not your whole club? Because multiple people have screenshots of your club members, not only bullying me, talking very horrible things about me, but they also tried silencing my friends that were defending me in their clubs and the people that were sharing the video that I posted on my Instagram about what CSH did to me. They tried silencing every single person for me not to be able to have a voice. Was that also one person and not your club members?
And not mentioning the brainwashing
Okay, I didn't give you a chance.
I
didn't give you a chance, Nader, I didn't give you a chance to reply to this, and I will stop basically this debate because we're not here only like we went basically somehow political and went somehow like discussing personal.
Some inaccurate things that I have to respond to. She mentioned our name like 10 times, and I have to respond to some of the things she said.
Guys, I really think this
Munzer, I need to end this debate basically because I have other stuff to discuss.
She said some very wrong. She said some very wrong things. I need to clarify them. I'm sorry.
Okay, 1 minute to clarify, and we'll end this debate. I will end it directly. I will not. I don't need any reply because this is going too political and going too personal on some stuff. Okay, so Munzer, 1 minute, and I will stop you.
Okay, so basically what happened, and this happened inside the CSH group, when Nuhad first posted her stories, some of the members inside of CSH said some very hurtful and disrespectful things about her. What the cabinet members did back then is we asked them not to act in this way, and then we immediately called for an emergency general assembly, which Nuhad was invited to join. And after through that assembly, we spoke to all of the members. We told them that this is not the way we act. This is not the way to treat other human beings. And we then spoke again about the agreement that was made not to bash or share any information related to any other any campaign actually whatsoever concerning their independence or not, because after all, we're a new, as you said previously, we're a new independent campaign with ex-politically affiliated people, and there are other independent campaigns with ex-politically affiliated people, and we cannot go in this back and forth saying انت محزب لا انت مش محزب. So this is why we told everyone to stop sharing such screenshots.
Thank you so much. Yes, Munzer. I will end this like part of the debate. I will not end the whole debate because we have more important stuff to discuss for today, and people are waiting us to discuss some plans for some of the problems that they care about. So we talked about basically in the general questions about the pass or fail option, and we had some differences between for example, between some campaigns. So I want here, for example, one of campus choice to tell me, for example, their comments on the question, on the answers of the other campaigns regarding the pass or fail option, and if they think that their opinion about this was better or what's wrong with the other campaigns regarding the pass or fail option. Like we have different ideas, we have different opinions. People are saying some of them were like against somehow pass or fail. Some of them like even in their platforms, they're suggesting, for example, pass or fail in 2 courses, 3 courses. Some people are saying no, pass or fail is an option. So I want secular people to give their input here and for these comments, and to try to comment on the other campaigns, to show me these comments, because you guys of course listen to their answers and this of other campaigns at the beginning of the debate. Yes, secular people, dollarization, sorry, pass or fail.
Yes, can I answer it?
Yes, you can. You have basically 1.5 minutes.
Okay, first of all, I would just like to say that all of our viewers are on pass or fail are very similar. In the end, we as students, regardless of what club or entity we're in, have hit a new low when it comes to the online learning, when it comes to the economic crisis. So any improvement, no matter what the type, let's say, of pass or fail being implemented, whether it's full or whether it's a conditional pass or fail for 1 course, 2 courses, it's an improvement. So I give this to our campaign and to everyone's campaign. Pass or fail is an improvement, but I still think.
Okay, so can I interrupt you here? Can I interrupt you here? Because during all the speeches, not of course only campus choice, all the speeches or all the answers, I'm just hearing that you guys want to do and want to do. Basically, when we want to go to elections or we want to be represented in the council, and it's not for only for campus choice, it's not only for you, we want the plans, we want like timing for these plans. Like for example, in the first month, I will go and work on this, I will contact this person, I will go and implement this, I will make this movement. So basically, regarding pass or fail, what is your first step that you will do? What will expect from you here in the fall semester, before the end of the fall semester?
Okay, so talking about giving the students some hope and giving the students something that is seen, يعني a timeline. I just wanted to say that the club has a great structure with multiple committees, من ضمن السندك committee that actually works and that actually follows up with the USFCs on this specific thing. The whole problem is really much bigger than this. Really, the USFC Council right now does not have a lot of decision-making powers in their hands. At least the only thing that they have is saying yes or no to proposals sent to them. They do not draft not saying that they do not draft the proposals themselves, but we feel that the student council should have more decision-making power. It should be led by students as a whole. And this point within itself will indirectly give students and whoever is running for the student council, it will give them more power. It will give them more comfort in making their decisions and setting out their plans, and backed up by entities just like the club, which are very organized and work on their projects, regardless how many USFCs we have. I think a good structure and giving some power to the council will solve every problem in the university.
Okay, thank you so much for campus choice answer. I will go to Nuhad directly. I will ask you here the same question about your plan. What do we expect from Nuhad from this campaign if you become a representative in AUB regarding the pass or fail thing? By the end of the fall semester, people are asking about this. So if you can also, if you want to reply to the plan that the secular club gave, also it will be perfect, Nuhad.
Honestly, my plan for it is, if I get elected, I will make a very strong point about how AUB is very loud about the Title IX and the mental health of their students. Then if they are that concerned about it, they will understand why implementing that pass and fail option is important. They have to understand that their students have gone through a traumatic event. They have to understand that their mental health is more important than the GPA that they're trying to maintain. It's already hard enough to learn through online system, to adapt from face-to-face to online directly. So implementing that will just be a stress reliever to their students, helping them feel less anxious, helping them adapt more. Of course, we're not asking for it to happen for the whole year and to just keep going year after year with that system. Just right now, because the story is still fresh, people are still suffering, and we're still trying to adapt. This is one thing that I would like to point out.
Yes, thank you, Nuhad, for your answer. Okay, guys, I can't give more than 2 minutes for this debate. I want to reply to the plan of Nuhad in order to end this debate, and we'll go, because like we're running somehow out of time, we'll go to the questions from the guests with Muhammad, and then the questions from the audience, which is the last part of our event for today. Okay, so who wants like to reply for regarding the plan of Nuhad, and he wants to suggest their plan or different plan? I don't want the same plan. I want different plan from the plan of Nuhad, and a comment on what she said. Yes, thank you. Yes.
I just want to get one sentence through. I think students should think less about how we are to change the dollarization and the Title IX and all of these stuff, and think if we can change them. The question right now, the student council, if the student council has enough power to change, not how will they change. I really believe that we have a very diverse student body that can come up with all different types of solutions, but we need to be in a spot to be able and to have enough power to go through with these.
Yes, but of course we are asking about the plans. We are asking about the plans because we need to, AUB students need to hear what you guys you want to do. Yes, I will go to Nadim.
I can
I
answer.
will give you just 1 minute, Nadeem.
Yes, of course. Concerning the pass and fail option, of course, I do agree that there is the condition of if, but also there is the condition of how. Because if we want to be realistic, of course, there is the mental health of students that we have taken into consideration. But there's also the physical health, and there's also the academic standing that some students need in order for them to graduate, and in order for them to be able to attain the degrees that they want. But I think something extremely important that we have to note here is the degree of reality that we have to put in when we consider the pass and fail option. The how is where things get tricky, because it's a constant communication between both students, faculty, and the general situation that will let us know
So
and properly
Nadeem,
plan.
how can you implement this? So what's the first step that you will do as a campaign in 30 seconds? First step, and how can you implement this? I need implementation steps. Who will contact? Who will you contact? Who, like, what will you do basically? A committee, anything, a movement, when you become representative?
So basically, yeah.
Yes.
So basically, the committees responsible for all of these are the Extended Council of Associate Deans, who reports back to the Board of Deans. Everything that has been caused by the coronavirus situation has been handled by the Extended Council of Associate Deans, and they should be the direct point of contact, along with the Senate and AUB, who passes these rules. So ECAD decides on a proposal. They draft it completely, and this is where we students have to step in to help them draft it, to give the student feedback that's needed, to tell them students need pass and fail. It's not about just raising a poster. It's about talking to them, explaining the arguments, and proposing solutions. ECAD plans this proposal, submits it to Board of Deans submits it to Senate decides on it, and implements it.
Okay, Monza.
Can I add something also?
Yes, Firas. Of course, I was about to allow you to talk, but I want you for the coming times just to wait to allow you. Okay, Firas, you have 1 minute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Also, I think I do agree with what the secular club was saying, but also we have to keep in mind that the fall semester, the last day is in 2 weeks. If we start meetings on Monday, after the elections, we have 2 weeks and 2 days in order to install the pass and fail system. So it must be timely. We cannot just change the authorities in 2 weeks and 2 days. And also,
okay, so
it's very...
as a campaign, what will you do? Like, what is your alternative plan if the secular plan is not that worthy?
I think it's very important that at first, the minute we start meeting up, to have a committee of the SRCs who are willing to commit all their time into this. And with that, number one, we have to do a survey, I think, to the students with a 48-hour time band of asking them what do they want, because at the end, as the SRC and USFC, we represent the students, and there are conflicting opinions on the pass and fail. So maybe some people want optional or some people want enforced, or yes, 2 courses, 3 courses.
Yes, Firas. I need to interrupt you here. I will just give for this debate 1 minute, only 1 minute, and end this debate. 30 seconds for secular, one of you, and 30 seconds for Nader to end this and to end, like, if you want to add a practical step that you want, if you can, like, everyone, if you can mute yourself, please. Okay, so if you want to add any practical step that you will do, if you have any comment, you have 30 seconds, Nader. We'll start with Nader, and then 30 seconds for secular club to end this debate.
Okay, I just want to point something that the representative of the secular club said, that before they didn't have the representation in the council, and now they're saying, because their structure is good, doesn't matter how many representatives they will change. Just I wanted to point this for those that are attending. And what we want to do is to argue and chat and give arguments with the committee or the administration, and try to convince them, because we're a democratic country. We want to talk with the administration, tell them why, not just do protesting and in front of the main gate. And so we might do protesting in case the administration comes in the face of us.
Yes,
but we want to argue with them and convince them.
Stop you. 30 seconds for secular club. Reply and ending. Any one of you.
So look, honestly, I think the number one thing is transparency. I think that nothing can be done without a back and forth. And I think we all have to realize that there is no set timeline, and that this is a matter that's going to take some time to be figured out. Our steps are to work with the administration through meetings, but first and foremost, establish transparency. Once we have transparency, we can know how to proceed and how long it should take to proceed. So that's the main step.
Do we still have time so I can add something? I just want to add real quick that I think what my colleagues were trying to say earlier is that within the timeline that we have, pass and fail could be a very, very good option, but we could also work very hard towards finding realistic and maybe like partial pass fail, but also realistic solutions to the problems that we have now, and to not set ourselves up for like eventual disappointment.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for this debate. I can't give any more time for this. So we'll go basically to the last part of this debate. We have the first part of this section, which is the last section. We have questions from special guests, and we have questions also from social media. So now I will give the floor to Muhammad. Muhammad, you will handle, as you said, the questions from special guests. This will take 15 minutes, and then we'll give the last 15 minutes for the questions from social media accounts. We have a lot of questions to specific campaigns and questions in general for all the campaigns. Muhammad, you can lead.
But Muhammad, before you start, please, I want to note that we will be removing any other participants that are not in the debate or that are not invited, who got the link. I don't know how, but we will remove them now. Okay? Thank you, Muhammad. Continue.
Okay, thank you, Rami. Thank you, Hassan. Moving on, folks, we will be moving on to the last section of this debate. We will be entertaining questions from our special guests. Kindly remember that the rules of the debate are still in effect, and that special guests are entitled to one question. That question may be addressed to any of the representatives present in this debate. So moving on, we will be giving the floor to Hiba. Hiba is a student journalist. Hiba.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Hiba Annan. I'm editor-in-chief of Watchdog Gazette, and I am a senior economics student. First of all, thank you for hosting this debate. It has been really enjoyable. And second of all, my first question was actually going to be about a concrete action plan to reverse dollarization, but you asked that, so thank you for giving leeway to my second question. So there are examples in recent history of within the USFC in which student representatives stood against the collective demands of the student body, and they compromised these demands in, well, they say it's to find a middle ground, but the demands of the collective student body were compromised. So when I am voting for USFC, I need a promise, I need a concrete plan of how will you not compromise our demands if you want to build a student base that is collective, that is united. And what are your plans to achieve that, given that the bylaws are pretty limiting? Most of you have mentioned the need for an independent student council, but we need a concrete plan to achieve that. I have extensively read the bylaws, and to change anything in those said bylaws, you need to go through that same bureaucratic process. And this process is as I said, it's limited. It goes back to President Khoury, who's here, and the Board of Deans, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. So how do you plan to bypass that if you want to actually achieve an independent student council, which is the student body's utmost concern? Thank you. Oh, this is to everyone, by the way. I didn't think of a specific party. So whoever wants to answer.
Very well. Any representatives have 1 minute to answer the question. 1 minute. Munzir, you may begin.
Okay, so again, as I said previously, we're here to find the most optimal ways to deal with any situation through coordination with the administration. But when that is not enough, when, just like Hiba said, when the students' demands are a compromisation from their end as well, we cannot just deal through the same bureaucratic way. What we hope to do is to kind of find do some student mobilization infrastructure, basically, mobilize all the students, unite the student fronts, not CSH, secular club, agents of reform, all the list. No, all the students need to be united together, not only through their representatives in the USFC or in the SRCs, but in their demands. And this is why we need, if anything, need to be like the
15 seconds, Munzir.
We need to be united as students. We need to be united as students, as to mobilize all the students together to be able to fight for it, not only in the يعني ضغط الشارع من الآخر نعمل ضغط شارع.
Okay, thank you very much, Munzir. Karim?
I just wanted to add that unfortunately, even in issues just like the dollarization a couple of years ago, once the decision was passed by the USFC, unfortunately, student concerns and the USFC representatives don't always have hand in hand. And even if the whole student body wants something, it's up to the USFCs to make that choice for them. And I just want to affirm and reassure every student that if the club would not have listened to the student concerns 3 or 4 years ago when we were labeled as alarmists, and we were the only club to stand up against the dollarization of the tuition, while every other political party and all of their USFCs were sort of okay with this. So I think our previous achievements talk for us and should give students trust, especially when we were the only entity to stand against the dollarization in front of every single political party at AUB. We didn't back down before the revolution, and I don't think we will back down now.
Okay, thank you very much, Karim. Nuhad?
I want to address how I want to state that for everybody that I've been talking to, how I think USFCs can represent their bodies, the student body, is that you ask them what they believe is the most important change that should happen. Of course, we can't implement all the changes they want, but the ones that have the most, that the students have in most in common, is the one that we'll be acting on and try to change as much as possible. But of course, we don't have all the power. We can't say that we really want to change something, but at the end of the day, even if we try as much as we want, we can't change everything at the same time. It does take time, but we have to focus on the one where students agree on the most. And for all the people that I've been talking to, you do realize that I do ask what they believe should be changed and is the most important thing to be changed. And I'm sorry if I didn't answer the whole question. You did glitch at some point. I didn't understand everything.
Okay, thank you very much, Nadim.
No worries, thank you.
Yes, first of all, I would like to agree with what my fellow USFC Munzir said, but I would also like to include that communication and inclusivity has been something that we truly do value. And by communication, we mean that there is no need to classify and to see people and to label them in any such way, because when a student cause is unified, and this has been proved that when students stand united, there is nothing that can stand in front of us. And I believe that as people who will and might be elected to USFC, we have the role and we have the responsibility to stay and to be the mediators in favor of the students, because they have given us this legitimacy to represent them, to find the best option fitting for the students, since we are this bridge between the students and
you
the
have
administration.
15 seconds, Nadim.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And lastly, Ahmed.
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Ahmed. Go ahead.
Yeah. As we all know, we all need to stand and work together. All of us are running for almost identical values, maybe small differences in what we want to do, what we want to implement, and we need to all unite together. So the issue of not working towards the students' benefit should not be an issue, looking at all our values. However, as you can all hear right now, we heard people about all the people joining together and making sure we're all mutually together. However, certain campaigns over here have not been working towards that. They have been pestering so many of the USFC candidates, so many of the SRC candidates, and currently right now they're not working toward a mutual, inclusive environment that allows all the USFCs to love each other and work together. So we find it very hard to all love each other.
You have 10 seconds, Ahmed.
When certain campaigns are not working towards that currently as of now, to potential USFC candidates and SRC.
Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. Before we move on to our next question, yes, Hiba?
Can I just have a final remark? I love the enthusiasm
Yes,
that
absolutely.
everyone really wants to represent the student body. but I really didn't hear any concrete steps in reaching that. So I hope that all our questions about wanting a plan will help all the candidates think of more concrete ways to do it. And I see Karim is raising his hand, but that is up to you.
Unfortunately, we will not have time to entertain Karim's remark. Thank you, Hiba, for joining us today. Before I move on, I'd like to correct a misapprehension which was previously mentioned during the last question. It regards the USFC bylaws. The bylaws were recently modified a few years ago to give students 2/3 majority of the USFC. So moving on, we will be entertaining a question from Hayat Abdullah, who is our former editor-in-chief. Hayat, thank you for coming tonight.
Hello. First, I want to say how important this whole debate is and thank the moderator. This election is probably one of the most important elections for students in their academic career. That being said, my question is for the Campus Choice campaign, although I do want to mention that previews are illegal as per AUB policy. I've noticed that the Change Starts Here campaign has been fairly transparent with having candidates who've been previously politically affiliated and have changed since then. However, Campus Choice has been prides itself with having candidates who've always been secular and had non-politically affiliated leanings. And as we've repeatedly heard, they are the largest and the oldest and the biggest independent campaign. However, when I saw who are the people who are running with the secular campaign, I noticed that one of them in particular had a picture with a prominent political party leader on his story highlights. And it struck me as strange as to why he still had pride in that one whole year after the Thawra. So I sent it to the secular club and it was removed the next day, but I was giving no explanation as to what and how. So there is a lack of transparency there, and I wanted to know why that is as a potential voter myself.
Before I let my colleagues speak on it, the secular club has never take pride in, everyone takes pride in their candidates and their members that have never been affiliated politically, but the secular club does have a lot of members and candidates sometimes that have been previously members surely that have been politically affiliated. We're a group that's more based on personal growth, learning and growing your political identity. We've never claimed that we haven't had members that weren't politically affiliated. Now I'll let my colleagues speak.
Yeah, hey guys, I hope everybody can hear me. Look, I'd honestly like to provide some clarity on the issue. I don't think it's a lack of transparency. I think it's very easily misplaced in context though. So this entire thing is about context. And the post you're referencing was a story made by a guy who actually scored very high on a government exam. And he was attending a thing where both the president of AUB and this certain political figure that you're referencing were both present. So they took a photo, he posted it, he was very proud. And I think he was proud more of his achievement than the fact that he was side by side with a political affiliated person, rather a politician. So I think it's very easily misconstrued if it's taken out of context. And I think you're absolutely right. I think everybody does have the right to know the truth.
You have 15 seconds left, Stephen.
Oh no, that's it. I just want everybody to know exactly what the post was that she was talking about. So
you see, this clarity would have been better provided if you replied to me, which you did not, and are choosing to reply on this in this debate.
So honestly, I'm really sorry about that. I don't have anything to do with the social media accounts. If I did, I would have happily replied to you. And if it was directed to me, I would have happily replied. My apologies on behalf of whoever didn't reply to you. I doubt it was in a lack of clarity or transparency. I'm sure it was just a mistake. So sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. We will, excuse me, Nadir.
Or not?
You have 20 seconds, go.
Yeah, I just want to say, Hayat, respect for giving this without saying the name. because other clubs and campaigns, by saying something that is a bit fishy, they put it on social media, and the individual that gets or the individual that has relation with this post or with this picture, with this follow, is being cyberbullied. I just want to say it, full respect for Hayat for bringing this in the debate without giving the name or without putting this picture on social media, because I don't think that a lot of individuals saw this picture. Thank you, Hayat, for the question. It's a really good question.
Thank you very much, Nader. Thank you, Hayat, for joining us and your question. If there are any other members of any other special guests who'd like to have their questions answered, now's the time. Okay. We will be moving on to the next section of this part. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm raising my hand.
Yes, Ronnie, but we'll have to move on due to time constraints. We apologize for that. Hassan, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Muhammad, for this. Okay, so now we'll target in the last 10 minutes of this event. We'll just give this 10 minutes and then we'll end this event with Muhammad and with the managers of AEB Outlook. Okay, so I have here many questions on social media platforms. I have a question to Siba. Siba, the question is concerning the USFC budget. How much exactly is the USFC budget, and how will you select who gets benefit?
Okay, so basically the USFC budget can go up to 250K dollars. Basically, and how we will be using it. I think that this year, as I said before, this year we will be using it, a large amount of it for the sake of students who cannot afford to continue their studies at AUB.
Okay, thank you so much, Siba. The question is now for the secular club. Someone asked on social media, they said you claimed that you were a minority in student governments. However, you had the VP position in 2018, which is the highest student body position. This actually question was asked also by one of the candidates here, but if we can clarify this in 1 minute, secular club, it will be better. So they are saying, I will continue, I will repeat my question and then continue the last part. They claim that you were a minority in student governments. However, you had the VP position of 2018, which is the highest student body position. Yet the campus witnessed many corruption scandals, just like the after graduation party and rally paper event. So how can you reply to this? 1 minute.
I'm sorry, Hassan, to interrupt, but it's 2017, not 18. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, okay, so I received this question.
2017, 2018.
Okay, 2017, 2018. Thank you for correcting this. Secular people, should I repeat the question? I guess.
Yeah, honestly, it wouldn't hurt if you could just repeat it one more time.
Okay, yes, I will repeat it for the third time. You claimed that you were minority in student governments. However, you had the VP position in 2017-2018, which is the highest student body position. Yet the campus witnessed many corruption scandals, just like the after graduation party and rally paper event. So how can you reply to this about the corruption thing, about the VP position that you had, and you claim that you were a minority, however, you had this position, and there was the corruption that happened in these two events. Okay, so campus choice, you have 1 minute to answer this question.
So first off, when we say minority, we mean minority numerically, not in terms of, I guess you could argue, pull in the club. So while we might have had the vice president position, it doesn't mean that we represented the majority of the USFC and or SRC positions. And that's where the difficulty became. But more than anything, it was in the fact that we didn't have an independent student council, meaning the deans had voting rights, certain faculty members had voting rights, and honestly, we were outnumbered by other USFCs and SRCs with voting rights. It made it very difficult for us to get things done. I don't disagree that in an ideal and optimistic sense that we could have and maybe should have got more things done, but as a student council representative, you're subject to people's support and people's agreements with what you believe in and what you are striving for. So that's where we've been limited in the past, and that's where I want to clarify on the minority.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. So here I have the question for everyone, for all the campaigns. The question is directed, the person who asked this question, they directed it basically to all the campaigns. So I will hear from everyone. I need only 40, you have only 45 seconds to answer to this question. The question is, should political clubs be banned in AUB? Should political clubs be banned here at AUB? Who wants to answer first? Nohad.
Honestly, as much as most people do believe political clubs should be banned because we do not support what the political parties have done, we would be infringing the rule of freedom of speech. So every person has the right to who they defend and who they support, but hopefully the majority will be independent and will outthrow any person that wants to be politically affiliated and be biased while representing students.
Okay, thank you, Nihad. 45 seconds for Nadeem, if you want to answer this.
Yes, concerning the issue of the political clubs, I think it's something that is relative to Lebanon, because the idea of a political entity and a political hizb has been very distorted, but having political diversity within university in terms of ideologies and in terms of ideas is something that coincides with freedom of speech and has to do with diversity and is extremely inclusive in an environment such as AUB. So I believe that having political clubs that adhere to their ideologies is truly important because it has to do with their freedoms of speech on campus.
Okay, secular people.
Okay, hello everyone. I think regardless of the distribution of independent people with the revolution or people still with their political parties in AUB, I don't think the secular club would vouch for political parties to be removed just because, I'm sorry, not political parties, for political clubs to be removed, because basically we are a political club. I think just like Nadeem said, the idea and the main idea of politics has gotten so many negative connotations because of our lives that we live outside of AUB, and the past 30 years we've been ridden by all these political parties and we have not seen politics outside of these political parties. I think it is our job and it is our duty as USFCs, no matter, and as SRCs, no matter what list we are going to show students good politics and to show students the good side.
Okay, so I would like basically to interrupt you here. Okay, so I will take representing agents of reform.
Hello. Okay, so basically, I think this has been just mentioned that we shouldn't really ban them because we want UB to be an inclusive community that, where everyone is represented, even if they are, at some point they're going to become a minority with all our, social changes we're getting. But also the most important thing, other than, banning them isn't really a solution to the problem, but stopping them from having the power and influence that they have through, constantly having those independent elections. This year, the elections are really, looked upon by everyone, AUB and non-AUB. And it should be like this for all the years ahead to ensure that independent elections are taking place, such that really this puts a huge limit on the power and influence that those political clubs have in AUB, in the AUB community.
Okay, thank you so much, Firas. I can't give more time basically for a secular club. We need to end this question. So yes, I have another 2 questions and I will, you guys can stay muted, it's better. Okay, so I have 2 questions and I will end this part and basically thus give chance to managers to end this event. Okay, so the 3 questions are, first question is for Siba basically. Siba, they are saying, do these new rules that you mentioned and rights of education cover current university students only or upcoming newly registered students as well? 45 seconds.
Okay, so basically, as I said before, that current students should have the right to continue, but also upcoming students should have like clear rules or clear tuition fees. So we want to endorse the student contract for upcoming students, and like that the current students and the coming students will have the right to continue their studies in the university.
Okay, thank you so much, Seba. I have the last question here for everyone. I will give only 30 seconds for each campaign to answer this. So every single participant mentioned basically raising about like or talked about raising awareness around discrimination and bullying. But how are you planning to do so? So what's the practical step that you will do as campaigns? Who wants to participate in this? 30 seconds for each campaign, and I will end this part. This is the last question. Yes, Nuhad, you can start.
Honestly, the steps are very clear. It's not only the Title IX, but we have to have events in AUB that require students' attendance, or at least like let them fill a survey up on being understanding the event that raises awareness on how much bullying and discrimination affects a person. We can't allow just because so many people skip Title IX. Many people. We have to make sure that our students are not just skipping through it, but understand the importance of not being a bully and not discriminating anyone despite where they come from and who they support or any.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you have only 30 seconds. I'm sorry for that. So we have now secular people, Karim and Steven. 30 seconds.
So yeah, basically the way we'd say it is that there's no intermediary between an incident and Title IX. And the issue with that is it's like the difference between rehab and prison. One's a little too extreme for certain situations, and people are misusing and mistrusting Title IX because of the severity of the consequences associated with using this resource. So we think there should be an intermediary for students to leverage.
I think Title IX gives consequences on students more than teaching them why their actions are wrong and following up with them.
Okay, thank you so much. You take all your time. And Nadim.
Yes, concerning the issue of discrimination, I do agree that there needs to be reforms within Title IX. But when it comes to AUB students as it is, I think the change needs to be institutionalized within AUB bylaws, not in the sense where they should be written and not implemented, but there should be perhaps a practical step taken by the university, not dictated by Title IX, in a sense where there is perhaps a mandatory training that each student must attend, which is adapted to the current context, but that is not similar to the one such as Title IX. Perhaps proposing a general course that everyone needs to take, or something of that sort.
Okay, thank you so much, Nadim. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Firas, I will end it, Firas or Nader, who wants, I guess you are from the same campaign. Okay.
Yeah, Firas, okay, no problem, Firas.
Okay, so thank you, Nader. Okay, so I think the solution is threefold, and some people have already mentioned it. Number one is education, and it means other than the Title IX courses that are currently being in place, which are really very inefficient. Number two, we have strengthening Title IX, but also kind of making it as not just you're making it kind of a spectrum and not just having it as a all or nothing kind of platform. And third of all is connecting the counseling center and having a bit of connections and linkages between the counseling center and Title IX, because I think someone from secular mentioned that at the beginning, that a lot of people feel that they don't want to talk to Title IX because they're just afraid of the consequences and stuff. So the counseling center will help kind of have this link done, and it will help direct the student who's being bullied or harassed or something. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your intervention. So guys, I'm officially ending this part, but I will not end this event. I will keep it to the managers. I would just like to say before finishing my role here, completing it. It was basically my pleasure, meeting you all. And I would like to say sorry if sometimes I stopped some people or I was strict in time but we need to finish the event in 2 hours to 2 hours and a half. Okay, so it was my pleasure meeting you all, and I would like to wish wish you all good luck in the election process. You all deserve to be representatives, and I would like to wish you all good luck. As I said, I will leave it now to Muhammad to end this event. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you all for participating in this event. It was very fruitful. Before I hand over the mic to Dr. Fadl Khouri, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this debate. I'd like to thank our special guests, and I'd also like to thank the representatives for their cooperation during this event. Dr. Nizamuddin, Dr. Sumro, Dr. Sana, thank you for attending this event. Dr. Fadl, the floor is yours. I've been your co-host, Muhammad Al-Kaki, Managing Director of I do not believe Dr. Fadl Khouri is available at the moment, so I'll be handing over the floor to my co-host, Kaline Pashimajian. It's been
Thank you for joining, everyone. I know it takes a lot to come here, and but then again, I have to mention that I think you all know that you have a responsibility to show up and mention to students why they should vote for you. And my message is to voters: show up and vote. Choose to vote blank. Choose to put a vote for these candidates. Get to know them. You can watch this debate, peruse it, reach out to these candidates, ask them about their campaigns. You can just address them the way Hassan has throughout this entire debate, very, gracefully. Ask them, what's your plan? And make sure that you get concrete answers and not just speeches. And for all those who didn't show up, hold them accountable. You can just, go ahead and ask them these questions. Your vote is worth something, and the student government is for you to reclaim. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Guys, I would like everyone to open their
I guess
so we can take media, including Outlook members.
There's a connection issue.
Yeah.
Okay, are you hearing me well, guys?
Now we are.
Yes,
I would ask please everyone to open their.
We're not hearing you, Rami. If you can try to fix your connection or type it in the chat box.
I think he's asking us to open our cameras to take a screenshot.
Not hearing you. Yeah.
So
okay.
We can take a final.
Okay, so you guys, if you can open your cameras, as Rami is saying, to take a photo before we end this event.
Thank you everyone for your time. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Now I have to figure out how to end this live. Have a good
Thank you, Outlook, for this event and for your efforts always. Thank you so much.
Really, يعطيكم ألف عافية. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Good luck to everyone. Bye.
Good luck, guys, and thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good luck. Bye.
Bye.
Hassan, thank you so much. It's been, I salute your efforts today. I know it wasn't easy. All right, so let's end this debate for today. And thank you, guys. Good, just amazing efforts.
Thank you so much.